What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler. We are back for another video in our Spider-Man Far From Home community series. We're talking all things Spider-Man. We've talked a lot about the spoiler aspects of Spider-Man Far From Home and also the future Spider-Man movies. Now, we have this video and one more video left in our Spider-Man coverage. We want to thank you guys so much for watching all of our past videos. And in this video, we wanted to do something a little bit different and talk about J.K. Simmons coming back as his famed character at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. So, spoiler, notice, we've really done spoilers for all these videos, but if you guys don't want to be spoiled for the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, turn away now. We want to talk about what bringing him back means, on top of the fact that it's just amazing and awesome to see him back and how well he fits that role. But we're going to be talking about what having him come back as the exact same character, but in basically different universes and, different properties, what that means basically for the future. So, Tyler, do you want to give a quick, what happens at the end of Far From Home, how we see him, and, your reaction to it and what that means in general going forward?
So, to see J.K. Simmons back reprising his role as Jonah Jameson, it was awesome. And what's funny is he was already perfect for the role in the Sam Raimi films, but he's even more perfect now. I feel like it's a different take on J. Jonah Jameson. It's one that Alex too, not on video, unfortunately. We might have, but it would have been a while ago. But we said that he's probably going to be more like Alex Jones. And ironically, he is. That's exactly who they made him seem like. Because they even say, the newscast even says, from the controversial website or news site or something. But they do say controversial. So, in other words, like conspiracy. They made him more like Alex Jones, which that really fits his character a lot, especially to make it more modern. That really works. It worked very well in the Insomniac Spider-Man games, and when that came out, Alex and I were like, please, when they eventually have when they eventually have J. Jonah Jameson back introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, please let it be just like this, where he has like a radio show, but he does also like the video casting. But please let him be like this conspiracy type person where, people are calling in and they're seeing all these weird things, and then he gives his take and it's totally wrong in like just so off, but just because he hates Spider-Man so much that he just looks at something the wrong way. And then, if you disagree, he kind of cuts you off and he basically finishes what you're going to say but spins it. That's exactly what J. Jonah Jameson is. And we didn't get that in the Sam Raimi films. That was more of the newspaper editor. He was just always kind of grouchy or whatever, and real quick, and he'd be mad at you, and he'd be like, "All right, do it." So he was just different there. Still perfect. He was perfect in that role because it fit that that type of J. Jonah Jameson. But now this one, J.K. Simmons seems to be even better. It's just so I can't picture anybody else. I would have thought Bryan Cranston was a possibility, but I always still wanted J.K. Simmons because he's just perfect for the role. And it was like a 30-second clip in the mid credits, and it proved I want him to be always. I want him to be in the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one. I want to hear him multiple times, just like on the radio or the news is on and it's J.K. Simmons or whatever. I just want to see that over and over and over because it's just so great. The way he moves, everything is just so good. But it's funny that he clearly doesn't like Spider-Man, and they don't even have to tell us that in this mid-credit scene, because he is basically saying that Spider-Man killed Mysterio, who he's an interdimensional being who will no doubt go down as the greatest superhero in all time. So he clearly doesn't like Tony Stark either, right? He doesn't like Thor. He doesn't like any of them. But he likes Mysterio, who was a liar, and there was drones, and all of that was seen. There's probably photos and videos of, they turned into drones. Actually, there is, because Flash Thompson was live streaming, and he's like, they turned into drones, or something like that. So it's known that they were drones, and those were all illusions. In fact, you can see the drones in the the little clip that they play where Quentin Beck twists, and his other guy twists what Spider-Man said to make it sound like it was Spider-Man doing all of those things, not Mysterio. So it's just funny that he sides with Mysterio, even though it was technically Mysterio who was the true villain, the true bad guy. But J. Jonah just hates Spider-Man and Tony Stark and heroes so much that he's like, this is the greatest superhero in all time. And it's just really funny because he never, obviously Mysterio was never in New York. He never did anything in New York. But, all these things happen, and he's the greatest. It's just funny. That's totally his character. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with that character, because, is he always going to be anti-Spider-Man, or will there ever be a time where he's actually thankful to Spider-Man? Probably not, which would be kind of funny. Where he just comes up with an excuse where it's like, well, Spider-Man probably released him from prison and this and that just to make a big scene so everyone loved him again, or something. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that they got him back, that J.K. Simmons back, that they introduced him in this way with such a big, holy crap, what the F ending, literally. It's just so, how they're doing the character this time around. It's so different yet so perfect. It's just that, honestly, that was probably, even though I love the movie, that was probably my favorite part of the entire film. That really solidified how good Far From Home was, and how good really the Spider-Man movie is. But what I just kind of thought of is, technically, because this is not just Spider-Man's universe, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, technically they could have these little short clips in any of the other Marvel superhero films. Just really quick. Any of them. Doctor Strange, whatever. And he can just pop on. You can even just hear him in the background, like, oh, Doctor Strange is this and this and that. Like he can now be in, it would literally take J.K. Simmons probably 5 minutes or less to record those type of things. And it's just amazing because he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he will be for probably very many years. At least all of Phase 4 and probably all of Phase 5. So that's so cool. And I have a feeling that even in the Miles Morales movies, we're still going to have J.K. Simmons, which is going to be cool. We're going to have J. Jonah Jameson right off the bat when it's the new Spider-Man with Miles Morales. So that'll be really cool. And that'll change things up a little bit, too. Miles and he's new, so it'll be interesting when there's Miles and Peter and they're swinging around kind of together, and there's two Spider-Man. That J. Jonah Jameson's going to be losing his mind over that. So there's so many fun things that can come out of this. It's really amazing. And for you have this guy who's going to be rooting for the villains, but out of stupidity, out of dumb things. It's just going to be more of that, comedy that they really did a great job with, and they continue to do a great job with in these Spider-Man films. So it's just now another. You have J.B. Smoove, you got J. Jonah Jameson, you got the idiot, pathetic teacher, Ned. It's just Flash even. There's just so many things now that they have. Happy, and like I said, now you add J. Jonah Jameson's to the mix, and I don't know. I find it hard to. I find it hard for Marvel to top that, comedy-wise and fun-wise. I don't think they're going to be able to do it in any other film, which isn't a bad thing, because Spider-Man's probably going to be their most, well-performing film from now on. That's my personal opinion.
For sure. I mean, yeah, when we first heard this, and Tyler and I, had seen the leaks or then that this was going to happen, I was a little, I'll be honest, going into it, I was like, I wonder if they can pull it off. Because I agree with everything Tyler said. I mean, I think he's an absolutely amazing actor, character. I think he did a really good job in Tobey Maguire's movies. And like Tyler said, he's just a different kind of character now, more of that Alex Jonesy character, which I think is a super good fit. And honestly, if you're J.K. Simmons, I feel like that's mainly part of the reason why you come back is, yeah, it's fun to, replay a role that you played for so many years throughout these three films, 15 years ago. But at the same time, if I'm going to come back and, I kind of want my character to evolve or to change a little bit. And, Sony had a say with this. So it is, the same character in the way that, they could just recast the same guy, which is really, really awesome. And it's really one of the only times I've ever seen that happen. And it is only because of that connection with Sony Pictures. But it's really, really cool that they were able to make that happen. But, when you're coming back, you probably do want your character to be a little bit different. Or like, what can I add to this character, or what can they write into me to make this character a little bit different, like to make it fun again. So if I'm J.K. Simmons, I assume, I haven't seen any interviews or talking with him, but I wonder if you'll see him say things like, they're using, like, he's a different kind of character now. I get to do different things. I get to be even more kind of off the walls than I was in those past movies. So it was really, really great to see him. But going into this movie, I was wondering if they would pull it off. Like, how would he look now? He's significantly older than he was back then. Would it be weird because, like, Tobey Maguire's and obviously, different universe now, and they hit the restart button. Like, what would this be like now? And it was flawless, honestly. Happen and. Like, you felt like I honestly think he was one of the better parts of those Spider-Man movies because I don't think there was almost anything good about them. However, we are seeing more and more of people just saying how amazing those films were with this whole going back into Spider-Man thing. I'll always disagree with that, but he is one of the best parts. So seeing him just felt kind of flawless, and like it kind of felt very, very smooth, like it was meant to be that way. But very, very awesome. I think he nailed the part. I think he can be a very integral part of these movies going forward. Like Tyler said, just to kind of turn it on and him be in any of these movies. He can literally be in any of them, and he'll always have that spin of being against the good guy, for that funny reason, and they can always make a scene like that out of it, and they can do that for any film they want. They can do it for Avengers films. They can do it for Spider-Man films. So I assume as long as he wants the role, and yes, he's getting older. I believe he's in his 60s, but as long as he still wants to do it, I think it'll always work very, very well to have his character in it. So guys, let us know in the comments below, what do you think of J.K. Simmons returning? Did you like it? Did you feel like it worked well? And what do you want them to do with his character going forward in the next Spider-Man films and just general, Marvel Cinematic Universe films? Let us know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel podcast now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. We got one more video in our Spider-Man Far From Home community series tomorrow, and we hope to see you guys there.